Welcome to Sports Therapy episode 16. Today we got our end of year Q&A. We get into questions about our best and worst moments from this year, our most embarrassing girl stories, and the future of our NFL teams. 2020 has been a crazy year, and we want to thank y'all for spending a portion of it with us here at Sports Therapy. And here's to hoping everybody listening and or watching will have a successful, healthy, and just plentiful 2021. Anyway, man, that's enough of the intro. It's time to hop in.
That's how we wanted it to be. Just something chill that if you liked it, then it was for you. And then there wasn't a pressure on us to build something that we weren't really trying to build. Right. Like it's not about building an empire of, hot takes and controversial opinions and just saying things to get clicks. Like it's just about our experiences and what we want to talk about. And I think that's better. This is something that we do for fun.
For sure.
But anyway,
all right, man, we're gonna kick off now. Today, y'all, we doing the Q&A, the end of year Q&A. But before we jump into the questions, and before I even say that, thank you for everybody who love questions. We appreciate it. We're gonna get to them in a second. But we had to send a shout out to Cameron Elmore, who commented on something that we were talking about in the last episode. All right. So we were talking about our dads and video games in the last one, and Cameron left a dope comment. He said, "My dad just turned 67 on the 9th, and he plays Call of Duty." Okay.
Dude, I'm sorry.
No, I hear it beeping. I was gonna try to keep going through it and let you. I thought you was gonna be able to figure it out quick.
I wasn't. No, what happened was I wasn't recording at all because I clicked it earlier and it did like a 10-second thing, and it was doing like a 10-second photo thing. And I thought it was turning on. And so now I didn't even have the camera on. Okay. But just go back to talking about Cameron and then we'll just not have me on at first. Okay.
That's cool. We just rolled through it. And if you're watching the video version of this, we're going to let y'all get, y'all going to get that. Y'all get the behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, back into to Cameron Elmore. So he said, "My dad just turned 67 on the 9th. And he plays Call of Duty on the daily." All right. Now, that is a dope comment. Do you have anything to that? Because I got some questions.
Well, I saw that, and it was just so funny because I was thinking back to what you said about your dad and playing games and getting really into Dynasty and changing sliders and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old your dad is or was when you guys were playing games, but the older that dudes get and the more that they're playing games, it just fascinates me just because I know a lot of old people who are over 60 that don't even know what a video game is,
That's so true.
So to hear that comment, it's just so funny because it's like a different world than what for sure. I know. Old people just that I know aren't into that stuff, which is fine. I mean, not everyone has to be into things. It's just cool. I respect it.
It's interesting, bro. At 67, because I always assumed that I would lose my interest in video games at some point. Hadn't happened yet, you know what I'm saying? But at 67, it still be rocking. My question is, how good is he? Is he cold? Because, if he cold, it's even more impressive. Because you say he played COD on the daily. So if you a daily Call of Duty player, I don't know, is he a zombies player or if he's a multiplayer or if he's a Warzone? You know what I'm saying? I'm super curious, which one of those modes does he spend most of his time in? And how good would you say he is at the game? So this one is from Linder Vandefen. All right. Or Leander. Okay. I think I got it right. What were your best and worst memories from this year? And what were the sports moments that have stuck with you from 2020? So 2 questions, but 2 fire questions. I'll let you answer first.
So it's tough because there was a lot of sitting in my house, working on videos or playing games and not getting out enough. And so it's kind of like a weird blur year. But one cool thing that I did, and this is like a sports moment and a best moment, is I took my girlfriend to go see LeBron play against the Kings.
That's dope.
And so we got to see LeBron sitting about 15 rows from courtside and just seeing him when we walked in and they were doing layup lines and just seeing it was like one of those iconic photo taking moments where you just see him and it's like, that's a real person. He's real. LeBron's real.
Dude, that's
So
crazy. Yeah,
that was
that's dope.
cool. And to kind of bounce off that, I watched Kobe in like 2014, 2015-ish when he was on his last legs. Not quite his last year, but I think it was the year before. And they went and played the Kings. And I don't even think he was starting. I think he was coming off the bench, but he went in. And I remember in warm-ups, me and my friend got there like an hour and a half early, and the whole bottom, you couldn't even get there because there was people just watching him warm
That's
up.
insane,
Kobe was warming up, and
bro.
he was just doing his little elbow drills and just warm up shooting, and you couldn't even get close to the court because of how many people were just watching him warm up an hour and a half.
I bet he was
before
so
the game.
locked into his routine that he don't even like trip on none of that stuff. He just keep going
No,
about his
he'd
business.
been doing it for 20 years.
Man, that's crazy, bro. I thought you was finna say you went on the reunion. I mean, on the farewell tour year. So if you saw him on that year, that would have been even crazy. Like, that year was insane. He signed the shoes, and everybody was showing love the whole year. He was getting standing ovations in all the arenas. Man, that was dope, man.
I think it was his second to last game at the Kings Arena that he ever played. So that's as close as it gets to.
That's as close as
he probably scored like 12 points or something. That was when the Lakers were struggling. Man. And then, I mean, obviously rolling into like worst moments or moments that stuck with me. It's like where were you when Kobe died? It's like, that's the moment my girlfriend was doing someone's hair and she was sitting there and she gasped and said like, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe it." And she said it out loud, like, Kobe died. And it was one of those moments where it didn't feel real. It's almost like we get so caught up in like saying crazy stuff or memes or whatever that I didn't believe it for like, I don't know how long, but then the news reports are coming in. And that's just one of those moments that like you sit back and all of a sudden it's like tunnel vision and it starts to become real. And that was a weird couple of weeks for everyone. Everyone who had any sort of connection to Kobe. You know, all of us who pay attention to sports know who Kobe is. And if you played basketball, you obviously respected Kobe. I mean, I wore 24 in high school, my last year I played. And it was just it was tough. And it was definitely like one of those, it definitely almost the whole year, that was like the starting thing. That was like the first thing that kind of like the domino effect of bad things started with that. So that's definitely if there was 2021 moment that stands out, that's it for sure.
Man, I was actually going to go with the exact same moment. And before I even knew what these questions I had already thrown my Kobe hat today. You know what I'm saying? But I'll try to think of a different moment. But just to talk about that moment real quick, man, I remember when it happened, I saw it on Twitter. And you see all type of crazy stuff on Twitter. So my heart dropped, but I didn't really believe it yet. You know what I mean? And then like I'm seeing I started checking like the actual news reports and stuff like you were saying. And dude, this is the first time I can remember. Well, the same thing actually when Nipsey died, it was the same. But like I literally shed real tears. Like I was so hurt. I was almost surprised with how much it hit me. You know what I'm saying? Because I never met Kobe, but he just meant so much to like, I don't even want to say a whole generation because there's multiple generations. You know what I'm saying? Like my generation before me, even my little cousins, my little nephews and stuff, biggest Kobe fans in the world. I bought all of us like these nice Kobe plaques. Like it's a nice little framed picture with like a little plaque in it. I bought that for like most of the dudes in my family. Like everybody I knew that was diehard Kobe fans. You know what I'm saying? But crazy moment. Probably the worst moment of 2020. Outside of that, we had other terrible moments. When Chadwick Boseman died, that hit me just as hard because we was already building on so much, and then it was so sudden. It came out of nowhere. Like he had been struggling with cancer for I forget even how long, but a very long time. He was shooting movies and working through it, and he never said nothing. He didn't want people to know or people to feel pity on him, and he was still putting in work, and it just happened. you know. And when that happened, it was another one of those moments. And then it's been a lot of bad moments in 2020. The other moment, I don't remember the exact date or nothing like that, but it was when the shutdown first happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it became real. Like we had been hearing about the pandemic and everything, and then like when it was like, nah, everything is shut down. They sent out an order here in Houston, don't leave your house. Like that was a scary time. You know what I'm saying? Because we was like, oh shit, we didn't really know what was going on. Everybody trying to protect their family
Yeah.
and make sure they good. I remember making a scramble. I went out because they announced the shutdown. It was gonna be like I think the next day at noon or something. So I had to run out real quick. I had to buy ammo for my guns, you know, because it's like when stuff like that happen, you just want to be prepared. You feel me? We went and bought, you know, all the supplies and everything that we could, food and water and all that stuff. And it was
Yeah.
scary because you know I got a 4-year-old and my wife, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how we gonna get through this because I don't really know what's gonna happen. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. So that was another crazy, crazy moment, man. What was the other part of the question? Was it like a happier part? Going
The
into the New
sports moments
Year's
that stuck with you.
sports moment. The biggest sports moment that stick with me right now is it just happened. You know what I'm saying? It's when the Bengals beating the Steelers on Monday night. I was completely checked out on the team. I had zero hope, like not even a slither of hope of winning that game. And you know, they came out there with just a fire, bro, and a passion, and the way they played, I've I've not seen it. Like I've not seen it. And I watch damn near all the games. You know what I'm saying? I've not seen that though. Especially on prime time. We came out and we really made a statement and like left that energy out there on the field. Like we took over the game and we bullied the Steelers. And like from it's weird I got on yellow and black today. But from a
Yeah,
Bengals
both of
fan,
us.
yeah, it's sheer coincidence.
Doesn't make sense.
Uh, it doesn't. But from a Bengals fan perspective, you got to understand we have suffered years, and I'm gonna make a video on this so I go a little deeper. But we've suffered years of just all kind of punishment against the Steelers, and we never really been able to overcome that, even in our best years. So for them boys to come
Yeah.
out there like that and play, even though there's nothing really on the line, like nothing was on the line but pride. And for me to see that the team still had that pride, it allowed me to take pride in the team once again. Cause I'm running around here with the Bengals flag, and I'm like, I'm doing all this, and they gonna lay down on the season, like after Joe went down. So you know that was hard to deal with. But then when they came out versus the Steelers, they really showed me a lot, bro. So that was probably my most memorable sports moment from this year. You know, I would say the Lakers win the championship, but it was kind of like lackluster because there's no crowds and
Yeah.
you know no parade or
Well,
nothing like that.
that's, yeah, I think of moments that stuck with me. And obviously, I could go like, okay, Browns Ravens Monday Night Football was amazing. But the two moments that stuck out with me was the first bubble game of the NBA,
Mm,
the NBA bubble, the first game I watched, and then the first NFL week.
mm,
Because the NBA bubble was so funny because they had the fake fans on the
mm,
screens, and it was cracking me up just watching it because I'm like, this, I don't know how anyone could watch these games. Like it was just, it felt like you walk into an open gym and people are playing at the
mm,
Y. That's obviously they're way better than people at the Y, but it felt like watching a
mm,
scrimmage, which is cool. Like if you're a fan of the game, but I was just like, this is so weird. I just remember it was just like, it took me back. Like this is an iconic moment because it was so different than a regular
mm,
NBA game. And then the first NFL week, the crowd
mm,
noise, the fake crowd noise when like a play would happen and be like, ah, and it would be like loud for like 10 seconds and then it'd come
mm,
down. And it was just so artificial and fake that I was like laughing hard. It was just so it was so different than anything. They kind of fixed that and stuff, but still, like some games have fans, some games have no fans, and I hate it. Like I hate no
mm.
fans. I think it sucks, but it's definitely memorable.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be interesting to
Oh,
look
for
back on
sure.
and be like, oh yeah, the Browns played in this amazing Monday and Sunday night back to back games like on national television, and the crowd was empty.
Mm.
It was just like desolate. It was like a Division II football game. No one's in the crowd,
Yeah, that's funny. That's
so
crazy to
it
hear.
was.
it's crazy. It didn't really stick out to me in the bubble. I saw a lot of people saying that until the championship, because that's the only time like I was like, okay, now I care about the crowd, because they just won the
Yeah.
damn championship. So now the crowd is like it's an even bigger deal. So it's probably the first time I really even noticed it, because I honestly I didn't even pay attention to it until that moment, and it hit me like, damn, nobody's even like that's it, it's over. Well, they won. Guess I'll go and do
Yeah.
something else. Yeah,
It
it was
definitely
wild.
made me feel weird. And it had me really nervous about football season because I was just like, is it going to feel uncompetitive? And I remember getting on when we were first doing the podcast
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about the Browns. And after their first game, I remember being so disappointed because I thought the whole season was going to feel like the watermelon scrimmage in August on the football team. The parents come watch and it's just like going out there to run a couple of plays.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like watching. But
damn.
the football season was a lot better than I expected. Anyway, I think we should move on to the next question.
All right.
TB1 asks, going into the New Year's, what is the biggest thing that you think you can improve on YouTube wise or personal life? Funny thing is that he's a Ravens fan and he grew up in Cali, which is cool. Another one of the people who has no ties
One of us.
to the team they cheer for.
One of us.
Yeah, one of us.
Yes, sir. Okay. Biggest thing I think I could prove on YouTube wise and personal life. Personal life, it's easy. Like the answer is easy, but attaining it is damn near impossible. Because I've been trying to attain the same thing forever and it constantly changes. But personal life, I can improve on balance. Always, always, always balance. Spending the right amount of time worried about my career and the finances. Spending the right amount of time taking care of the family. And then with the family, that breakdown, right? Because you got family time, then you got just time with me and my son. Then you got a long time with me and the wife, right? Then you've got a long time with just me, because as an introverted person, I like to spend a certain amount of time by myself. You know what I'm saying? So always trying to balance that. Like I want to game because I enjoy gaming, but I don't want to game too much. You feel me? I want to work out, but I don't want to. So just always balancing that, man. I think that's always the biggest thing. Just trying to improve on balance in your life. YouTube wise,
Yeah.
for me, I've been getting this down over the last month and a half. Is really narrowing down my focus on YouTube. And 'cause I find that sometimes, see, I don't even supposed to be giving y'all this, but this is the real deal right here. Sometimes I feel like I be like a caricature of myself, right? I'll look at my videos and be like, damn, I was trying to act like how I think people think FlemLo Raps acts right here, versus just going for it, right? And so recently I just been going for it, and the feedback I've been getting has been back to the level that I was getting before, because it's just I'm a lot more authentic, and I'm a lot more just spontaneous in my videos, where I'm not really caring how it lands. I'm just expressing myself how I want to express myself and doing whatever I want to do in the video. You know what I'm saying? So trying to keep that as much as possible, I would say probably the biggest thing I can improve on in as far as YouTube goes.
Sweet. Yeah. I the thing is with YouTube, I kind of saw where you didn't want to say too much, but with YouTube, there's so many things that I'm trying to work on and I don't really want to talk about.
Right.
But the things that I do want to talk about that I'll admit is like, okay, I want to become better organized and ahead of schedule. We talk about doing sponsorship videos and stuff and like having issues with that just because you get caught up in everything else that all of a sudden your back's against the wall and like, oh, okay. It's like that GTA meme, like, oh, here we go again. Like shit, I'm going to try to throw together something. But yeah, just getting ahead of the game, not being afraid to try new things and being more myself. So pretty much just what you said. Personal life, I think balance is amazing. And that's something I'm always striving towards. But honestly, I need to get better organized. Like if you, my room right now, I have it just set up enough that it looks decent on camera, but there's like boxes and crumbs right there there's a plate right here. It's just like, it's like a trash bin of my inability to just get on top of what I need to do. And just even like video stuff, like I will download videos and I don't save it in like particular like organization. And so I'm just like, if I don't do it that day, then I can't find it later because I don't remember what I saved it as. So it's just organization. That's probably my biggest thing I want to get better at.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You lose videos on your computer?
I don't lose videos. I just mean like I will
Scripts.
save like a video that I downloaded from YouTube or stuff, and it'll be like I'll just type in random letters because I'm so sick of naming things.
Yeah.
Just like just like tap the keyboard and save, and then later I'll do the video like 2 days later, and I'm like I can't remember what I saved that thing as. It's not in the download file because it's in some random file that I made.
And the thing is, the shit that you type in real fast makes complete sense in that moment, and then after you step away and come back, you'll never think about that shit again. Like whatever this little stupid initial you put in here, yeah, it's gone, bro. You're never gonna find it.
Dude, with the amount of like overlays and titles I put on my videos, it'll be like 100 in one video. And so I'm like not taking the time. I'm literally typing like 2 letters for all of them. Like LO, PW. Like it's just like random things just so I can hurry and save it and then put on the video. It's so stupid.
All right, bro, we moving to the next one from Drew Bailey. How do y'all perceive academics in relationship with sports? Now, because you said academics specifically, I honestly just see academics as it's just a requirement, bro. It's like the thing that you have to do in order to play. So I don't really see academics themselves as like super important because it doesn't really measure intelligence at all, in my opinion. It measures more like obedience and ability to follow orders, which is not like a bad ability to have, but it's just not something that I necessarily hold in super high regard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the same time, I mean, I think that it would benefit a player. I just wish, and I'm trying to answer the question directly, but this is what it makes me want to say. It makes me want to say, I just wish academics made sense. Like I wish that they were teaching you financial, you know what I'm saying? Like financial literacy, like teaching you about how to get your credit situated, teaching you about how to budget, teaching you about real life stuff. Because the vast majority of the stuff that I learned is completely like it's not relevant to my life. You know what I'm saying? And I know people who, almost everybody, like the vast majority of people I know who were great academically, their lives don't necessarily mirror what you would have thought. Like the separation from their life and the dude that was trash academically, in most cases is not that big. You know what I'm saying? Unless the dude that was trash academically was getting in like legal trouble. That's a different thing. But I'm saying if the dude was like following rules for the most part, but he was just bad academically, his life is about the same in most situations. There's a few what is that? Is that you?
It's my girlfriend.
Somebody passed by? Okay. We go. Just making sure I went to my house. But I lost my train of thought for a second. Yeah, I don't really hold it in the highest. Like I don't really hold it in like the highest regard though. I want to hear what you're gonna say because it's probably gonna make me think of something else I want to add.
Well, this takes me back to growing up, and the thing is, I didn't give a crap about academics my entire life. Okay, so I'm about to say something positive about it, but I want it to be clear. Until I was about 24 years old, my relationship with academics and school was just do enough so you can continue to play sports.
Right.
Like I don't give a crap about this stuff. But as I get older, I can see the value in what you said, like the obedience thing. I think that's the thing that's how I view it, but it's almost negative to view it only in that light. Because I think there's a value to being able to be open to learning things that you don't want to learn about. As far as the school system, that's a whole different conversation. I 100% agree that we need better financial literacy and understanding, those types of things that aren't taught as much to kids. But the ability to learn things and read things that you don't necessarily want to or are interested in is a skill set that I wish I was so much better at, but I just lack. Like I just don't have a great ability to sit down and read something that isn't like the life of Barry Sanders. oh wow, look at these pictures of him running. I could look at these photos and read this little passage, and I love this. But you give me like, oh, give me a book that's about stocks, and I'm semi interested in stocks, and it's like fine print. I'm like, I can't even read that. Like, we live in a new time where you can watch videos and stuff, but just having the ability to read in like an academic fashion and write in an academic fashion is something that I'm valuing more as I get older.
See,
and I wish I would have been better about that stuff when I was in school. So anyway.
I agree with you, but my thing is that it's important. My thing is the way that, and look, I'm not speaking for all schools. I haven't been at every school, and I'm 33 years old. So I ain't been in school in a long time. You feel me? But when I was in school,
Yeah.
I feel like they almost did a disservice. Like it went against like making me okay with learning stuff that I didn't want to learn, because I learned stuff that I didn't want to learn to pass the test, but then it had no value to me later. You feel me? Like if I learned stuff that I didn't want to learn and then there was value, that would make me say, okay, learning stuff I don't want to learn, that's something that I need to do. But it makes you almost feel like the opposite. It makes you feel like if they try to tell me something I don't want to learn, just like in school, this ain't gonna serve me later anyway. Like most of this stuff I learned was either false, like a lot of stuff from history, or they left a lot of stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I later found out, I learned all this stuff outside of school. So it's just like, I felt like, and I realized that pretty early on. So I felt like going through school, the vast majority of my time in school, I was just trying to just game the system. I did learn how to do that because I always had pretty good grades in high school and stuff. They fell off when I went to college.
Yeah.
But, I basically would just game the system, do enough, be eligible, and then move forward. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're a person that figure out what you want to do early, I don't really think this applies to you, because if you know what you want to do and say it's something where you need 4 years of college or maybe even more than that, your grades need to be in a certain place. So you got to do what you got to do in order to accomplish your goal. So it just really, really depends. And the vast majority of people not going to make it in professional sports. So you need to be able to do enough in school to be able to support yourself once you get out. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand that, and it's a balance. So even though I'm sitting here saying like, I don't really value academics specifically that highly, I do value education, like good education.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I just don't, I see that in academics as almost two different things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way I see it. Like,
yeah, I respect that. And I get it. I mean, I feel more similar to what you're saying over anything else for sure. So it is LeBra James asks, what were your college majors and why? And I can start. So my major was kinesiology, which is like that kind of sports science route. And the thing is, that's kind of the broad term, kinesiology. I went into more of the strength and conditioning coaching route, which at the end of the day, going to college for that, you're going to make like $30,000 a year because unless you're Alabama's strength and conditioning coach, you're not making a lot of money doing that. The thing is, I never liked anything else other than sports. Like I said, with the academics thing, it's like you put me in any class but weightlifting or history, I'm just like zoned out. Like I just couldn't care less. So I took this, and the thing was, I went to class, but at best, I went through the motions. And so when I went YouTube full time, I was like, screw this. So I dropped out because I just had no interest in it. It was like, oh, how much I could possibly make with YouTube compared to probably the capped out amount of what I could do if I finish up college, which I'm paying for now at this point because I'm not on the track team. So yeah, that was my major. Anyway, what about you?
Quick comment about that kinesiology major. Like that was, what was it? Sports and recreation, something like that. That's what like all the football players at my school, at my college, like all of them was in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like 90%. It was like,
it's easy.
It was the easiest, you know what I'm saying, to just push everybody through. Me personally, I majored in business to start school. Okay. And the reason I majored in business is because I couldn't figure out what the hell I wanted to do either, because my interests all over the place. And I figured, hey, whatever it is, I'm gonna need to make money. You know what I'm saying? My mom majored in business. I majored in business. I ended up changing that about halfway through, bro, because I had this one professor who hated football players. Like, bruh, you run in there. Her class would be like 8 in the morning. You had practice at like 6. So you get in there, you just got out the shower, you trying to get food. So you go in there, you got shorts on, t-shirt, she's pissed. Come in here presentable. Yo, football players think you can do it. I'm like, yo, I'm just coming to class. Anyway, that got so ugly, I stopped going. And eventually I had to drop that class. And I was like, damn, I'm going to have to change my major to something I care about anyway, because I ain't care about business. I changed it to psychology, which I love. To this day, I love psychology. I love like figuring out why a person does what they do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what make people make the decisions or think the way that they think. You know what I'm saying? That's something I'm super into. So I really love psychology. The problem is when I looked up what they made and the jobs that would be available to me, I was like, look, bro, I could be a local rapper and figure out how to make $50,000 a year. That was my thinking, or close. And I was like, I would rather do something I love to do instead of like, I really don't want to sit on the couch and listen to somebody's problems. Like, you feel me? Even though if you look at my video, like I like to dig into people's stuff and try to figure out, but I like to do it at my leisure. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just have to listen to anybody. I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I eventually dropped out, but that was my major. I was in business first and then I was in psychology. That was my 2 majors. And I really liked the psychology major. I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot in psychology.
It's funny because I wanted to do sports psychology. That was what I wanted to do. That was my dream major. But that's such an oddly specific thing that if the school doesn't have it, you have to either go psychology or a sports related route or combine the two.
Yep.
I wasn't willing to do that. Like you said, like you look at the numbers and you go, I was like thinking, hey, I could do YouTube. Like it's like you with the rapping thing. Like I could do YouTube, and if it works, then like I'm living the dream and making more than I could ever make doing that. Unless I went big time in that. So I guess it just comes down to following dreams. And while I could still learn about sports psychology now at my leisure, I don't have to go back to school for it. I can learn the things I want to learn because I'm not specifically going to school to be like put the shirt and tie on and go sit behind a desk and do it the clinical way. Because I'm like anti-clinical. Like I put on sweats and a sweatshirt to go to class. Like I don't like to dress. I'm not going to say I don't like to dress nice, but if I had the choice to be like chilling and just like casual, or like that like businessman approach, like that's just not me.
Yeah.
That's just not me. And modern day is different. Like I could probably find something like being a sports psychologist where I travel with a team and I'm like talking to players. I think that'd be cool. But at this point, the amount of work just to get to that point, which still would be making less than what I am now, it's like, it's not going to happen.
With that said, I'm thinking about going back to school when this whole pandemic thing is done, because I never graduated. This would make my mom very happy. Yeah. But I want to take some creative writing classes and public speaking classes.
Well, that's smart.
I want to take stuff that's going to help me with what I do now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did a presentation in a speech class about Rudy.
Yeah.
And it was so sick because I'm not like amazing at public speaking, but if you get me talking about something I'm interested in, all of a sudden I'm like I just can take up the room. I can take the power of the room. You get me talking about like fish, I'm like pissed. Like I'm just like reading off the script. You get me talking about football, I'm like talking to everyone, like shouting out things. Like
probably played the little KTO music off your phone real quick during your
yeah.
You had a little bit.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I had a professor shout me out in front of a classroom of like 120 kids. He like wrote my name on the board because it was a leisurely lifestyle class, and he's like, see, he was like 85 years old, and he was like, this is what I'm talking about. You follow your dreams. He wrote my name on the board, and he's like, look up KTO when you are done with class. And apparently someone in the class had watched my videos. So they were like, they freaked out because they went up to the professor after, and they were like, wait, who is it? Like, can you show me who it is?
Yeah.
Like, and he wanted to talk to me, and we ended up like talking for a little bit and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
This just made me think of this, but knowing that my video will be seen by hundreds of thousands of people doesn't make me nervous. But if I had to sit in a classroom and watch a classroom of kids watch my video, I would be like sweating bullets. I'd be like laying on the ground, like curled up, like rolling around. It would not be good.
Yeah, it's completely different.
That's just that
completely different.
It's so different, man. So that's why I respect people who speak or do things in front of actual crowds. Like that's just so bold and
it's a talent,
courageous. It is.
And they're so good at it. A lot of stuff. Like when you watch the good people, they move the room. They command the presence. They could take the energy up. They could take it down. That's why I'm going to take the creative writing classes. I want to take the public speaking classes, because I've noticed since I come on here, a lot of times I can't get my thoughts out as clearly as I would like to. And it's just something I want to get better at. I'm not like terrible, but it's like there's room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? All right, Alex Unjuras. What did your schedules look like as student athletes? When did you wake up for workouts, do recovery, have practice, etc.?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
So an average day, I'll just go over average day. So lifting would start at 7:00. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, me being like the super lazy, like wait till the last minute, I'll probably get up at like 6:40, walk across campus, like 10 to 15 minute walk, and get in there just in time to like get into the weight room for the warm up. And you do like a warm up and you do like the main lifts and everything. And it takes about an hour and a half of doing all the stuff. And so it's like 8:30 comes around. I have class at 9. So 8:30 comes around and then you don't even have time to shower. That's how backed up we would get with our timing. And I would just go to class like sweaty every single day. Start at 9. I get there at like 9:05 and sit in the class, and classes from like 9 to 12. I'd walk over to like Subway or get something else for lunch. And then like another class, usually like 1 to 2:15-ish. They were usually hour and 15-minute classes. And then practice would be around like 3:00 every day. And then you would have like the running practice, which was, it depended on the day how hard it was, but we'd do like 3 to 4:30-ish. Some running workout that would bust your balls, make you want to die. And then you would get showered up, and I would have like a night class, 6:00 to, it would be like, but that would be like once a week. So the night class was only once a week, but it'd be like 6 to 8:30.
Yeah, I remember.
So one night a week, it would be the worst day of your life. You get up at 6-ish and you'd be in class till 8:30. And if you were lucky, that teacher would be cool and let you out an hour early, because it was just such a long class that if there wasn't enough to talk about, you could go early. So that was cool. Yeah. But that didn't happen all the time. So that was like what a hard day would look like. An easy day would be like no lifting that morning. So class starts at 9. You have 2 or 3 classes that day, and then you have regular practice at like 3:00, 3 to 4:30-ish, and then no class. So start your day at 9, end at 4:30-ish. That would be an easier day. Then the hard day was all day, just going. So really had to be good at planning meals and stuff.
Yeah, or you would not eat, or you have to make like a hustle move to get something to eat. Man, I remember one time, bro, I got to fight with my roommate when I was a freshman because he wouldn't let me use his car to go get food. And I was so damn hungry. I caught him with a right hand. 'Cause, bro, Jack in the Box, I kid you not, it was 60 seconds from the camp. It was right there. I was like, bro, give me a ride or let me use your car. And like he was just being an asshole about it. Like it was his car. He didn't have to let me use nothing. But I felt the way. You know what I'm saying? Because he was just being such an asshole about it. Yeah, we ended up, he was a whole senior too. Like we ended up getting into it. Like that was crazy. But a normal day for me, honestly, was so similar to yours that I'll give a day from when I was one of the hardest schedules I ever had. It was one summer. I was ineligible. So I had to take 18 hours in the summer, but you're only allowed to take, I think, 12 or maybe 14. I think you're allowed to take 14, whatever. So I jam-packed my schedule, and then I got with 2 other professors who allowed me to come to their classes during like downtime when they wasn't in class. It allowed me to go to their office and like, do whatever the work was that I needed to do. So during that summer, bro, I was waking up at like 5 a.m. I was waking up before 5 a.m. because we ran at 5 a.m. We had conditioning, okay? So we go run. After that, straight to try to get something to eat, get some coffee, and then I was in class all damn day. I'm talking about the whole day. Then we have practice at around 3:45, 3:30, something like that, okay? You got practice, and at some point in here, we had weights too. I can't remember. I think weights was right after the run. So you run, you got weights. That's what it was. You run, then you got weights, then you got class all day. Practice at 3:30. After that, I've got more classes. I probably got like 2 more classes. Then at night, we had study hall. All right. So
Oh yeah, we had that too freshman year.
So I'm in study hall and you gotta go and sign in. And when I first went to college, like I got into like 3 fights in my first month. So I was on like, the coach was really watching me. I had to do everything. Like if I wasn't signing in the study hall, if I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I had shined a light on myself basically. So now any little thing I didn't do, they was all over it. I couldn't go under the radar no more. So basically from like 4:45 that morning till about like 8:30, 9 o'clock that night, my entire schedule was filled. It was the most miserable time of my life, bro. Most miserable time of my life. But after I got it rolling, I kind of got into it. And, I did it. I did that whole thing. And I got eligible at the last second. And then I got kicked off the team.
That's a journey, man. That is wild.
Then I dropped out. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Because I was like, fuck it. After all of that, like I just couldn't do it no more, bro. So I got out of there, man.
That's what I don't know how I feel about people who can just do that and they don't even like, if they like are not that big of they're not into the sport that much. They're like, yeah, it's just what you do. You just go to school and do this for 6 years or whatever. And it's just crazy to me because I could barely do it for 3.
It's how you wired.
I'm just not cut out for it.
But see, that person will be very successful. Maybe like they need some other traits too. But like those traits right there, you can be very successful in the world because they're gonna be able to go work 60 hours a week and probably get promotions, and they're gonna, all this stuff gonna be early, it's gonna be on point. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your personality, just all you gotta do is realize that's you, and then you go strong in that direction. Like you don't want to try to be like a damn YouTuber or something if that's your personality. Like you a whole different. You like a different breed of person, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit broke me. Yeah,
dude. No, everyone has a skill set where some people are wired to handle that, some people aren't. I'm not a person who's able to handle a lot of things that I don't want to do. Yeah. That is a weakness if I'm not able to overcome it by my strengths. So for every one of me who makes it in like YouTube, there's the version of me that didn't make it on YouTube and I end up getting some crappy job. You know what I mean? Like because I was too lazy to finish up that aspect of my life. So for all the dreamers out there like me, you have to make it in like your dream. But if not, you have to be willing to go through the crap to work your way up in another way. Like I think about it every day, how fortunate I am to be doing what I am, but it also scares me because I'm like, man, I was so lazy. Even though I'm not saying like when I'm being forced to do things, I don't consider that work ethic. I could just consider that being able to like put up with it. Whereas work ethic with me is like, okay, how often am I doing stuff now? Like how much am I keeping up with like working out when now I'm not competing for anything other than myself. Yep. So how hard can I work now? Or, how much can I get done with video stuff? Like how much effort can I put into a video? That's the stuff I consider work ethic, not necessarily, oh, I had to go to 3 classes today. It really sucked, but grinding daily. Like, okay, well you go to those classes because you paid for them. And if you don't, then you're really just wasting money and wasting your time. So that's like semi work ethic, Yeah. That's just how I feel.
I feel you. I agree, actually.
Again, I don't want to disrespect anyone who does those things because that's tough. Yeah. Like it's not easy. Sure. It's not easy. Sure. But anyways, I will go to the next question. Okay. The ghost of Adam Gase asks, first it says, Flem, who is your favorite non-Bengal of all time? And then he asks the same thing, KTO, who is your favorite non-Brown? So I'll let you start.
This is an incredibly difficult question. I'm sorry. I said before this, I wasn't going to be the dude that give 3 answers when you ask for one person. I lied. Here we go. So DeAndre Hopkins, Anquan Bolden. Damn. This is so hard, bro. That third spot. I admire so many players, man. Third spot. Right now, I'm going to think of somebody later that's going to piss me off that I forgot this person. But right now, I'm going to say I'm gonna say Cam Newton, man. Love Cam, bro. Love the dude.
That's cool because you listed
Favorite
2
non-Bengal.
receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you listed 3 players. 2 of them were the position you played, and 1 was a quarterback. So is that a big part of like what makes you appreciate players? Is like what a receiver goes through. So seeing what a DeAndre Hopkins can do is so impressive more to someone like you who understands how hard the things he does is, you know?
Yeah. And I gravitate to like physical receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes who don't have like the ideal thing. Like when you think of a prototypical like X receiver, you think of speed, you think of, maybe height. You know what I'm saying? But like them dudes, to me on paper, neither one of them look that great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look running a 4.7, Anquan running probably a 4.7 also. You know what I'm saying? But on the field, it didn't matter. Like they found ways to get around, and DeAndre still finding ways to get around like their perceived weakness, and then they magnified their strength so much that they still became either the best receiver in the league for a time or one of the best receivers in the league for a time. And then like all my other favorite players, and I won't name them, that's non-Bengals, it's like tight ends and safeties. For some reason, I love safeties. I don't even know why. I never even really played defense like that. But yeah, I love safeties too. Every Bob Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just sit here and list off 100 names. This is my favorite player. This guy's my favorite player. Man, for me, I brought up the whole like position thing because I really admire running backs because I played running back my whole life. Yep. So when I watch one play, I can just like right now, my big one's Kamara, watching him and how he moves and his ability to make guys miss, but his balance and just his suddenness. And he is so impressive to watch, but I'm not going to say he's my favorite player.
Okay.
My favorite non-Brown of all time, because I want to do it college and I want to do it NFL, it's got to be just at its peak, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Just because LaDainian Tomlinson was a guy who just could do everything as a running back. Like in an era where running backs were kind of 30 carries a game, you need to be 230 pounds, you're slow as shit, you wear shoulder pads that go above your head, and you just like run into guys and get 4 yards. Not saying all the guys were like that, but it was kind of like an era of like ground and pound between the tackles, power offense. Yeah. And he could do everything. He had the season with 100 catches. He had like almost like 1,000 yards receiving and rushing in the same year. He had the big year with 28 rushing touchdowns. So not only was he an incredible back, just like vision, well-roundedness, and he was an amazing college back. He had like a 400-yard game at TCU. He was just the complete package as a running back. You could use him in so many ways. And he kind of helped what the modern NFL running back looks like when you're talking about the ability to be in the pass game and run game. He was just the epitome of that.
I agree.
And then I had to go college player because I loved college football so much more. So I had such a bigger connection to college. I have to do it. Yeah, my favorite college football player of all time has got to be Colin Klein.
You know who that is? Klein, quarterback, green team. Who do you play for?
No, K-State.
Oh, he played for K-State.
Kansas State.
Yeah.
He's the best way I can describe him is a poor man's Tim Tebow. But here's the thing. You watched that Kansas State team play, and they were like good at the time when he was playing, but he literally would run the ball like 30 times a game and get like 2.5 yards every time. But it was perfect because they get to like 4th and 1 and it'd be like that wildcat quarterback formation. And he would just power and get it. And just watching that, I don't know why. Because if I watch that now, it pisses me off. But at the time I was in high school and I'd watch every K-State game because I loved to watch him play because they passed the ball like 10 times a game and he would do like the power offense every play. So it was just so funny because they'd play teams that they shouldn't beat and their offense would be so ugly, but he gets 3 yards every time, 2.5 yards when he needs it. Yeah. And I just loved watching it because dang it, now I'm going on a tangent, but there was like everyone, like Oregon got so much hype for like 10 years, like the Speed Demons, they got all the flashy uniforms. They're national title contender, but then they'd play Stanford, and Stanford would run like I formation, power right or power left every play. And there was that game where like, I don't even remember his name, like Gaffney, maybe Tyler Gaffney or something. He had like 50
Sound
carries
familiar?
or some ridiculous amount of carries, but every time it was like 3 yards. So 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4, 4th and 1, get it. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, get it. And they would just do that the whole game. And the whole game, it felt like the same 2 plays were being ran, and they kept getting it. And they beat Oregon in a year where Oregon was trying to go to the national title. Damn. I don't know why it is, because that's not the style of player I am. I'm a speed, flashy guy. But watching that power offense and seeing it play out, I just love it. That's what gets me going. I
gotta throw out my favorite, my college guys real quick. Real quick.
Yeah,
I got 3. I got Peter Warwick. I got Michael Crabtree and Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah.
Favorite college players.
There you go. 2 receivers and a quarterback.
Damn.
That's your formula.
Yeah, you're right. That is my formula.
You know, Peter Warwick's before my time, but because I've made enough videos, I've seen his highlights, and it's fun to watch. He was super quick.
Next up, Arena Phoenix. What is your favorite football game you watched, or who was your favorite Madden player? I'm going to answer the second question. I'm going to let you answer the first one, all right? Who is my favorite Madden player? This is recent. This is extremely recent. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you guess what position they play?
Receiver.
Oh, damn it. He got me again. John Ross, man. John Ross is the greatest Madden player who is like not good in real life.
78 overall.
Oh my God, bro. This man is unstoppable to this day in Madden. I put him in a slot. We run that deep post, that deep seam, and them crossing routes, and he cannot be stopped. And every time I do like a franchise or a dynasty or something, he go from a normal development to a superstar development within the first couple of years, because just with the speed and like the ability that he has, like even Madden knows, like, bro, this man his spectacular catch is pretty good. Like everything about him as a receiver is pretty damn good, but in real life, he can't put it together. But on the game, I can put it together for him. You know what I'm saying? And definitely John Ross. Before that, it would have been Bob Sanders, because I remember way back in Madden, me and my boy Trip, we used to do. This was the first time they put team play in Madden. I can't remember which game this was. I think this was on the Xbox 360. This was during my college days. But we would get. I have Bob Sanders. He have Antonio or Antoine Bethea. And we would wreck shop with the Colts, bro. Like, we couldn't be stopped. You couldn't score on us. We was picking off everything. And that was some of the most fun I ever had on Madden. So, Bob Sanders still one of my favorite Madden players. Boom.
Yeah, that's cool. I won't even answer that because I can't even think of one. But my favorite football game I ever watched was a game that my dad and I went to. And it's one of the greatest college games ever played. It was Boise State, Oklahoma, Fiesta Bowl 2007. Just iconic underdog story. You know, the amount of times I heard, like, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Those kind of things. And it's so funny because we were there at the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona for like 6 hours before kickoff. You're like sitting in like the area outside the stadium. It's like the world's largest tailgate or something like that. And they had like bull riding, like the mechanical bull riding. They had like the throw-in games. They had all sorts of stuff going on. Just like this celebration. You had huge screens watching the other BCS bowls. Anyway, we go into that game, man. And of course I'm like 12. So it's like prime age for like, you know, your team loses and you cry your eyes out. Your team wins and you're like screaming like a little girl and running around. But yeah, dude, that game was like one of those. Boise State answers or scores quick. They get up like, this isn't even real. We're beating Oklahoma. We're crushing Oklahoma. They come back and all of a sudden Boise State's against the wall. Like, did you watch that game?
I can't remember it. No. So if I did, I don't
people who watch that game know. It was insane because Boise State was up 28-10. Oklahoma comes all the way back and it's 28-28 with like a minute left. And it's like, all right, Boise, this is your chance to go down the field, set up a game-winning kick. First play of that drive, Zabransky, the quarterback, pick six. Pick six with like 58 seconds left or something. And so now Oklahoma's up 35-28. It seems over. it's like over. You know what I mean? And then they go down the field, but then they get sacked, incomplete pass. It's 4th and 18 with like 18 seconds left at like the 50. It's like, there's no way. It's 4th and 18. It's Oklahoma. Boise State hasn't done anything offensively in a while. And they run the hook and ladder. They run throws it, the dig route, 15 yards, and he pitches it back, and they score on it. They score on that play. We are losing. Like, we can't even remember. Like, when you're in the crowd, you can't even see what's going on. So you just see the guy catch it. All of a sudden, the ball's not in his hand. It's like, did he fumble it? You just see the Boise State guy running down the field, and the Oklahoma guy can't catch him, and then they dive in the end zone. And it was just like, I can think about that play and get chills every time. It's just so crazy. And then they went into overtime and beat them on the famous Statue of Liberty 2-point conversion. Mm. And I was not a normal person for like 3 days after that, just because it was like the adrenaline high from that as a kid. You can't even think straight. Like, we tried to call my mom after the game and talk about it, and we couldn't even speak English. Like, we were like, you know, like when you like have a huge adrenaline dump after a game, well, after that, like, you can't even talk or think straight. You're just like saying random words. Like, she's like, well, are you guys okay? We can't even speak. We're just so speechless. I can't even come up with the words right now to describe it. That's how ridiculous it was. Yeah. Speaking of that, that's why I want to do more creative writing stuff, so I can sound more articulate and intellectual when I write and speak. So then I don't use the same adjectives to describe everything.
There you go.
Anyway,
you brought that back from earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
What's up?
Because you said that, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should consider that. That's probably something.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
It's something I want to go to the U of H. It's right here and do it, so I can kind of, make Houston officially like my home. But yeah. All right, moving to the next one. Zachary Young asks, "What's your most embarrassing girl story?"
All right, I'll go. Well, we had different experiences with girls growing up. Yours was, I got chicks in every section of the game while I'm playing. I'm pointing up to them after I make a 3, this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I can't get a girl to save my life. I'm kidding. I'm exaggerating, of course. But anyway, junior high and middle school is a tough time for guys like me. And you got zits all over your face. You're insecure. And of course, there's like, that's right when you start getting into seeing like how hot girls are. And the hottest girl at my junior high for like 7th through 9th grade. This is MySpace days. And it's like, I had her in a bunch of classes. We never spoke. And it was just like awkward exchanges at best. But when you're young and dumb, you take certain like looks and cues as like, oh, she might be into me. Anyway, I'm on MySpace. Of course, she's got we're friends or whatever on there, and they're doing those stupid games. If you ever were on MySpace where it's like answering questions, where it's like, who's the last person you texted? You answer that question. It's like, what's your crush's initials or whatever, or first letter of their first name, and like, what do you think about them? So, stupid questions like that. Anyway, we had like the most meaningless conversation going where I'm asking questions and she's giving like 1-word responses, but I keep going to keep it going. And she's like reading it, not responding for 40 minutes. Anyway, I see her post something and it says like initials KN, which is mine. And she's like, oh, I had him in, like, I was thinking about him earlier. Like, I'm actually talking to him right now. And so we were messaging at the time. And so I was literally like, oh my gosh, I have liked you for so long, like you are like, since we've had class since 7th grade, like I've been into you. I have big crush on you. Like, it's nice to see, like, I feel the same type of way. And then she goes, oh, I'm sorry. It's not you. It's another guy. I'm so sorry.
So tough. Oh.
And I literally like shut down for like, cause I had class the next day with her. And we never spoke again, not online or in person. That's how awkward it was.
Yo, as a kid, it hurts me now thinking. That has to be because like the places your mind went, like when she originally sent the first message.
Oh,
and
dude.
Like your whole shit just opened up, and then it was just like bam, not you.
The soul crush.
Yeah, that's tough. That is so tough.
just telling it again relives that like 8th grade angst and anxiety that I had, and it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just oh man.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm past those days.
That's crazy, bro.
Anyway.
That sucks.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I got two. I got like a harmless one when I was a kid. I was in high school. I wasn't that. I was like probably like my senior, maybe my 11th grade year. I can't remember. And I got one from college. I got two.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, let's go with this one first. And this might not even seem embarrassing to other people. I just remember how embarrassed I was at the time. Okay, it was this girl who was younger than me. She was like maybe a freshman or a sophomore. I was like a junior. But I wasn't interested at all. But she kept like she was kind of like she was kind of tomboyish, and I don't know, I wasn't into her, and like I had other stuff going on. So, bro, on Valentine's Day, she shows up to school with a big ass stuffed Dalmatian with my name like on it, like Carl, like on the thing. And she's sitting like at the beginning of school, everybody like walk in the gym, like everybody, until like classes start. And like, we sectioned off. So everybody in the gym in the morning. I walk in and my whole class, my whole section looking at me like this, because they already know. And I look over and she's over there with this big ass dog, like professing herself. I'm like, yo, that shit was, to me, bro, that shit was so embarrassing because it was one of those moments where me as a dude with a heart, I didn't want to embarrass her, right? Because I didn't want the damn dog at all. Like, I didn't want nothing to do with her, to be honest. So I had to accept the damn dog and take that L in front of the whole damn school just to not embarrass her. And it was at the time, like now as a grown ass man, it's like, who cares? But back then, bro, it was heavy. Like, it was so heavy. It was like, I got made fun of for that. I mean, it was light, true enough. But I got made fun of for that by like my friends for so long after that, bro. And it was so damn embarrassing. My other one, I completely embarrassed myself. This was in college. And this is when I first met my wife, right? We were cool. Like, we was hooking up and stuff. We was friends, but we wasn't like officially together. Went to the club one night and I saw her. It was another dude like just close over there where she was at. I had been drinking, took it like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. I come strolling by with two chicks from my class. I made sure she saw me, just doing the most. I was doing the absolute most. Acting out, bro. We end up getting into like this big argument in the club. This is before we was even official, right? The argument spills over to after the club. And I said something to her. I can't remember, but she got pissed. And she caught me with a gangsta ass 4-piece. She could go bop, 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 bop in front of everybody outside the club. And then my friends drug me away. Her friends drug her away. And we actually got back cool the exact same night. But the next day of football practice, everybody knew, because most of the football team was there. Even my coach, everybody was in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? So they're, oh, Flemmy, you all right? I heard she did a number on you, XYZ. So that shit was embarrassing. It's funny to me now, but it was embarrassing at the time.
Those are good stories, man.
Yeah.
Those are good. But
all right, what we got next?
So Jake Stevanos. How do you think your teams are going to be next year?
I'll go first. I think my team will be very similar to this year, to be honest. I think we'll have some moments, but ultimately, I don't think we'll be in a position to make an actual run. We'll basically still look like a team that's in the rebuilding phase because that's where we at. You know what I'm saying? We'll probably, who knows, like the close games could swing one way or the other, and I could feel different after the draft and all of that stuff. But, I'm expecting kind of more of the same. I'm expecting Joe to kind of come into his own a little bit more, assuming he shakes back okay from the injury. But ultimately, I think we'll be very up and down. I think we'll look terrible at times, look really like good or decent at some other times, but I don't think we're gonna really cross over that threshold. Not next year,
Yeah.
you know.
Man, it's just so tough because the AFC North next year, I think it depends with the Steelers and Big Ben, but it's like you guys have to play 6 games against the Ravens, Steelers, and Browns. And just those 6 alone is like tough enough. Like, yeah, you got a huge upset against the Steelers, but you're looking at 0-2, 0-2, 1-1, or 0-2, 1-1, 1-1, at best when you're in that rebuilding phase. And that just can just cripple a season. Just that alone.
Yeah.
Not to mention like out of conference tough games and stuff. Because just watching the Browns at the bottom so often, that's what would happen. Like they couldn't get past 6-10, 5-11 because they were stuck losing 4 or 5 games in the division to the Steelers, Ravens, and then the Bengals when they were good. But anyway, the Browns next year, I'm excited, but it just sucks because it feels like they have something good going right now, and with how it's all kind of unfolding, we'll see. Anything can happen. But
for sure. This
year,
is just how you feel right now.
Yeah.
Like way too early predictions. Like
way too early predictions.
Throw it out there, bro.
I really think Baker's going to be great. Like top 10 NFL quarterback when he's hot, top 5. He'll get some MVP talk here and there. Won't win it or anything, but he will have enough games where people are going like, "Yo, is Baker the MVP?" And then he'll fall off a little bit, but he'll be top 5 to top 10-ish next year. I think next year his career year. Don't know what the Odell situation will look like or whatever, but I think they're going to retool the defense, build upon what they got.
Yeah.
It'll be better.
Yeah.
And the offense will be just clicking because they know what they got now. They know what works. So depending on what the schedule looks like, I think that they're a playoff team next year for sure. And it just kind of how the dominoes fall. They could be the AFC North winner, 13-3 type team, anywhere from like a 10-6 to 13-3 team. But it'll be convincing. Like they're a team. This next year is the year, I think. That.
I don't necessarily agree with the Baker MVP stuff, but 10-6, like that type of team for sure. For sure. Definitely see that.
Well, we got one more question, and then we can roll into kind of the last thoughts and everything about what's going down this season. But anyways, P asks, are you guys happy with what you accomplished this year? You go.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very happy with what I was able to accomplish this year. I haven't had time to reflect on it at all because the year ain't even over yet. But just at a snap thought, I feel like we continue to grow the channel. We continue to do what we're supposed to do as a man, taking care of the family from a financial standpoint, getting more financially stable. I was able to be consistent even through the pandemic, which I feel like is a big thing because it was a lot of crazy shit that happened this year, like we kind of talked about earlier. And I feel like there was some times where I wanted to kind of just go away for a minute, but I didn't. I was able to stay consistent throughout the whole thing, so I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we was able to launch this podcast, and we still on it. We did miss 1 week, but we haven't really missed much, and like we just stand true to what we wanted to do, like our original vision with this. And we've had some opportunities to do some other things that will probably get more views and will probably make money and that type of stuff, but we kept it true to what we wanted to do. So I'm proud of that. I just bought a house. I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? I got in the best shape I've been in a long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? I walk around looking like a damn G.I. Joe around here. And I'm happy about that because like I started the question after I hit 30 and I tore my hamstring up just trying to play a normal game of basketball. I was like, am I ever going to be able to be that person again? So in short, after I said all of that, yes, very proud of what I was able to accomplish this year. So I feel good about it. What you think, bro?
That's awesome, man. You've done a lot of good things this year, and the house thing to kind of cap it off is dope.
Cap it off, yeah.
It's a big step.
For sure.
2020 was a good year for me. It was, I think the we were fortunate that what we do, it got affected, but not as much as people who own businesses in, corporate world and everything. So I can't complain. So it hasn't taken a toll on me in that sense. Everyone's had taken a toll from it, but overall I've kind of worked on myself and I've improved aspects of my life that I wanted to get better at. I've improved my just ability to like deal with negativity and, like being too negative towards myself and like doing things that I want to do, going after things. Doing this podcast, it was like a fear of mine at first, just putting myself out there, getting over that. And dude, it's been great because I've connected more with my parents and my family more than ever before in the past. Not that we had a bad relationship. It was just tough to open up and kind of connect to a certain extent. And just the ability to kind of cope with hard times. And like, cause when I first saw this question, the first thing I go to was like, oh, I didn't get enough of this and then this. And then it's like, I just put that kind of stuff aside and started thinking about the things that I did well. And it's like, wow, there's so many things that I did well. It just, you put that little hat on top that has a couple negative things and it feels like it was you wasted time. But really, I accomplished a lot of things that I'm proud of. So
yeah, for sure.
2020 was a good year. And, considering everything that went down, it makes me very optimistic because I think it's only up from here as a society and as from a personal standpoint. And just like the positive effects from the COVID thing is how much I want to go explore out in the world once everything's kind of opening up again, whenever that is. So I'm just excited for the future, honestly. So that's where I'm at.
I'm with you, bro. All right, man, before we wrap it up, well, let me say this, bro. Again, thank y'all for the questions. We had some dope questions, bro. Actually took a lot of thought to answer these, you know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for coming through with that. We're going to jump into, I guess, our reactions from the games this past week, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, real quick, because I know you got a lot to say. Give me a second. Let's take a 5. I'll be right back.
So before we get into the Browns and Bengals, I got to read something that I just saw posted not that long ago. It's breaking news. So Dwayne Haskins got cut after they got videos of him partying without a mask. That is crazy. That's crazy, man.
It's insane. I hate to say I am not shocked at all because I kind of seen this. I saw a lot of signs from the time he got drafted. And but you don't want to cast aspersions because just because you see the little site don't necessarily mean it's gonna go in this direction. But I'm not shocked. I'm gonna do a video on it and I'm gonna dive in and do everything. Like it might be what happened to this week. It's the fact that they waived him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the crazy part about it. It's like it seems like damn, they didn't trade him. They didn't they just cut him. Just like whatever. Like that's wild. And he was drafted last year, right?
Yeah. That's faster than Manziel got cut by the Browns. Yeah.
That's wild, man. But I don't really want to talk about it a whole lot because I gotta look it up and see everything before I start like throwing my opinion. Although I have an opinion right now, it might change after I do the research that I need to do. What you got to say on it? But it's a crazy, crazy situation, unprecedented as far as I know.
Yeah, no, it just the thing I just said a second ago was he got cut faster than Manziel got cut by the Browns.
Yeah,
and that's all time bust material as far as like taking a first rounder quarterback and not only did it fail, but you got nothing for him. You got nothing. So it's just a colossal waste, massive waste. Just thinking of all the quarterbacks that have gotten drafted in the top 10 in recent years. I mean, you have so many guys who are at the top of the NFL now. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, the guy who's killing it right now for the what's his name? Herbert, Justin Herbert. I mean, even Baker, just like anyone, like there's so many guys who are doing so well. So for this to happen as catastrophically bad as it's gone, feel bad for the football team.
I'm about to say I can't feel bad for him yet. Maybe I'll find something that makes me feel differently. Right now, it looks like from the outside looking in, it looks like he never really like embraced this opportunity and understood that like it is a privilege to play in the league. Like I really don't feel like he took it as seriously, bro. Because I remember on draft night, he showed up to the draft, watching with my boys, and I said, he's fat. I was like, yo, he out of shape already. I'm like, yo, he showed up to the draft out of shape. And just to me, as a first round quarterback, like that spoke volumes to me, bro. Cause I was like, dog, like you not taking this serious, like already at this point. Like this the interview. You know what I'm saying? Like even like trash employees show up to the interview, they're on point for the interview at least.
Yeah.
But like he showed up to this and was like, I'm Dwayne Haskins, goddamn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really didn't like that energy, but I was like, you know what? He been running around doing interviews and, it happens. He probably put on weight easy. You know what I'm saying? I started making excuses for him in my head. But
Yeah.
like over time, like almost everything that has happened seems to point back to a lack of work ethic and dedication on his side. Like everything that I've seen in passing seems to point to that. Maybe it's some underlying issue, and that's what I'm gonna try to find for the video. If there's something there, but just from outside looking in, like that's what it looked like.
It's amazing how, as long as time goes on, there will always be guys who get drafted and they don't put the work in, and it shows. No matter what, like it just every year there's guys, and I get it because you make millions and you're the hottest shit on earth to everyone around you. It's hard to get over that you're the top dog and you can do whatever you want. You're a millionaire now and you're 20, 21. So I get it, but it's still crazy. Anyway, I'm ready, unfortunately, to talk about the Browns game. And it just sucks because I wasn't even upset that they lost. I was just sad because it was so stupid. Because before the game, they announced that the top 4 receivers are out. Top 4, not Jarvis and another, like top 4. Then the top 2 linebackers. Then the top 2 offensive linemen. Wyatt Teller, number 1 rated guard on Pro Football Focus, and left tackle Jedrick Wills, the best rookie left tackle in the NFL. Been solid. So it's like, you can't make excuses, but you're talking about such, like you're putting in guys who have never played in the offense ever, not even practice. And they didn't even get a walkthrough before the game because their flight was delayed and all this other stuff happened. Their facility got closed down. So they didn't even get a walkthrough. They had to go to a parking lot at like 2 hours, 3 hours before the game to do the walkthrough. I mean, you're talking about like junior college shit, All right, guys, we're going to meet at the, the parking center outside the college at 8:00. So be there or else, go to your advisors, like some stupid shit. Anyway, so it was just such a heartbreaking game because the whole time I was watching it and just like upset at the fact that one, they can't overcome because their defense is bad. So the Jets scored against the bad defense, and they were throwing the balls to the tight ends every play in the first half, and that's all they could do. Because if they ran the ball, they got no yards every time. Because it's like, all right, we know you're not throwing to no-name practice squad guy on this side and no-name practice squad guy who's worse than that practice squad guy. So it just sucks because the Steelers winning helps, and now it's kind of like if the Steelers rest their starters or whatever, because the Browns are favored by 6.5 on the Vegas line right now, which I think is weird. So now it's the playoff game. This is the first playoff game for the Browns this week. It is win and you're in, and lose and you're probably not in, which is cool. I guess this is kind of, it gives me what I've wanted this whole season, was a chance to get it all comes down to this. So I'm trying to flush this Jets game out of my system, just get rid of it. It's just a terrible everything. Bad game, bad situation, whatever. Doesn't matter how bad the situation, it's over. We have one game. It's time to show up. These guys kicked our ass the first time around. I'll like Thursday will roll around and I'm going to be like not sleeping because it's been every year by November. It's kind of like the Browns are 3-8 or, 2-10, and it doesn't matter. This is like the first game that is everything.
Y'all play Sunday, right?
In 17 years.
Y'all play Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You said Thursday.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Sorry, I just meant like as the week goes by, it's like Thursday. Yeah. It's okay. A few more days.
Getting closer. Yep.
And then Saturday night, I'm going to be like, in my bed. 10 a.m. comes around the next day.
Yeah. I can't imagine the stress. I can't imagine it, dog. I can't. It's crazy. I don't know how you get over this Jets L, bro. Like, cause y'all did get screwed. Y'all got screwed by the league. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like there's no more like bye weeks and stuff, so you can't really postpone the game. Like, can you? I guess y'all could have played like Tuesday or something. Some weird day. I don't know. They've been doing that all year, but I don't really know what the reasoning is to where y'all just had to go through with that game. But I'm gonna assume they following the same protocols, like when the Broncos had to play with no quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But that's tough, bro. It's tough. It's a tough way to go out. I watched the end of that game, and y'all had a chance to win. Baker, I think, got sacked from the blind side. He's relieving it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the left tackle, man.
I thought y'all was finna get extremely
Tell me the whole game back.
Lucky. I thought y'all was finna get lucky because he fumbled it, but at the same time, it wouldn't have mattered. I realized after the fact, he kicked it forward. I was like, damn, he finna fumble to a first down, but I'm like, oh, you can't advance if somebody else get it on y'all's team. But yeah, the way it ended up going down, I was like, that is tough. I was like, that is incredible.
That was the first game this year where I felt like how I did in like 2017, where as that last fumble happened on that 4th and 1, I literally got up and I wanted to punch or kick something. Like I don't get that rage very often, but it was the first time this year, and probably in this year, happened last year, where I just stood up and I was like looking for something to like break. I was so mad. And I didn't break it. I mean, I didn't do anything. I just kind of like was slowly breathed it out and stuff, but I didn't get it. I still am not over it because it's just so stupid to me. Not just like obviously the COVID protocol stuff, but just like you had a chance and you can save this game. Just
the worst team in the league, but of course they're coming off that win against the Rams. It's just
they run a stupid trick play.
But it could be a setup for a much more glorious trip into the playoffs for y'all. Because a lot of times, if y'all would have won that game, all it was gonna be, and I was gonna probably say this too, it was gonna feel the same way, and you probably say the same thing. Y'all had an easy ass schedule for one, so we all kind of. I knew y'all was gonna make the play. Like I picked y'all to make the playoffs because I was looking at y'all's schedule and like y'all are good, and this schedule is pretty damn easy. I was like, they're gonna get in. So if y'all get in by beating the Jets, that's one thing. But if y'all get in by taking out the Steelers, even though they've been struggling as of late, they still won the AFC North and they still the Steelers, and they're coming off a win now. So you know what I'm saying? If y'all beat them to get in, like that does a lot more. I feel like. For like changing the narrative on the Browns versus y'all beat the Jets, get in, then lose to the Steelers. It's like, they backed in and now they're gonna go lose. I agree. Round. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. That's where my whole mentality is now, and I'm gearing myself slowly up for it. Whew. It's what I wanted at the end of the day. This is the opportunity I wanted. So can't be mad. Can't be truly mad. You know what I mean?
So, good luck, because on the Bengals,
Baker, man,
in a second I will.
Take us.
But I just I want to say this just to be extremely clear.
Okay.
And again, very odd that we're wearing these colors. I root for every team in the AFC North when they're not playing the Bengals except the Steelers. Like I cannot root for the Steelers, bro. Like I don't think it's cool to hate a team, but it's there. I hate the Steelers. Like I really do. But y'all and the Ravens, I rock with y'all, bro. I really do. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll be watching the game. I will be pulling for the Browns. I hope y'all do well. I hope y'all get in and erase, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this curse that y'all been carrying around for so damn long. And y'all got some real fans, bro. Some passionate fans. You know what I'm saying? So y'all think y'all deserve it, bro. So I'm pulling for y'all, man. I hope y'all pull it out. We'll see how it go. I'm gonna be excited as hell watching this game. It's gonna be a fun game for me because there's no stress for me. So this is gonna be a good ass game for me. But
you're gonna know how I'm feeling.
I know you're gonna be watching it like you're not gonna be enjoying it. You're gonna be stressed. No. Even if y'all up 10, you're gonna still be stressed because it's just a big deal. Now, all right, my bad. You got anything else to say about them? About the Browns?
I'm good.
Right. As far as the Bengals, bro, saying like my pop said about Dak, when they carted Joe off, they carted me off with him. You feel me? But these last couple of weeks, bro, they really brought me back, especially with that game versus the Steelers. Like they showed so much heart, bro. Even if they didn't win that game, it wasn't even about that at that point. Like when I saw just how they came out and they didn't lay down like some bitches, that's something I can get behind, whether we win or lose. It's how we play. It's how we look. And I've been saying that since before the season started. You know what I'm saying? And then last week we go in, we play Houston, team about on our level, except we don't have our franchise quarterback.
They have that quarterback.
Exactly. And, our guys came out. They haven't given up, bro. And when it give me mixed feelings because sometimes I feel like our coach has no control over. I'm like, what is he doing? Everything going haywire. And then other times I'll be like, damn, we have no chance. We ain't playing for nothing. And it's a COVID year, meaning everything is uncomfortable. It's a tough season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a couple cats that play in the league. It's a tough season. Like, it's tough on them cats, bro. Like, they're going through a lot. Their routines is off. Like, it's tough. To still get these cats to be playing that hard this late in the season is crazy to me. Like, it really is. And they look damn good until William Jackson went out. Then our secondary looked like it's looked all year. Number 38 came back in, Baker's best friend. He picked on that man the whole game. And that's exactly what happened in this one, but we still managed to pull it out. But, I just been proud of the Bengals. I've been proud of the way they played the last couple of weeks. And I know a lot of people, if you judge me off last year when I wanted us to tank, that was a very specific situation where we had a once-in-a-generation quarterback that I feel like could change our franchise for the next 15 years. So in that one situation, I felt it was best for us to tank and get Joe.
Yeah.
This year and any other year, I'm not with that tanking shit at all. Like, win as many games as you possibly can. We'll worry about the draft when it get here. You feel me? Because we got a lot of cats on the team that's going to be on the team. And I want them to, to experience that winning. You feel me? So I've been proud of the Bengals, bro. I like what they've been doing. We got one more game, and we'll see how that goes versus the Ravens. We'll see what kind of showing we can put up. You know what I'm saying? And we'll move on from there. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Yeah.
Man, that play where Juju gets lit up and fumbles, that's going to be a top 5 play of the whole season.
For sure.
Of the regular season.
For sure.
It's just such an iconic. Like, he comes out after the game and says he's not going to do any more dancing on the TikTok videos. And it was just it was so perfect. It was perfect. Yeah. It's like
called it. You're talking called the shot. He called that shot. Because he said before the game, they asked him about the dancing. And he was like, just got to hit him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, what you going to do about the dance? We just got to hit him. And then he catches him perfect. And like, he fumbles and we recover it. Yeah, it was... Bro, like the swag we had that night was unbelievable. We had to do a high stepping on a 7-yard interception return. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Dude, that's the 3 things that come to mind of the Bengals 2020 season is Joe Burrow running for his life every play.
Yeah.
But making crazy plays. Like amazing.
Yeah.
The lighting up Juju and that interception that he probably could have got 15 more yards if he cut it back. Like, it was possible. But he high steps it out of bounds and gets lit up. So that was the best play of the whole night. Dude, I could not believe that. I was literally like running around my living room. I was laughing so hard because I was like, what was that? Like,
I don't know what it was. And like logically, it makes no sense. But I loved it so much just because the swag we had that night. We was playing like an undefeated team, bro. And it was like, I don't know. I don't know if we knew we was going to win or if we just didn't care. We didn't care what the outcome was. Yeah. We didn't care what nobody thought. We was just, just doing our thing, bro. We just doing whatever we felt, and that was man. That shit was crazy, bro. It was crazy, bro.
That high step is burned into my memory. It's just so funny. No one's ever done that. That's like a Madden play. That's like you intercepted on Madden and you hurry and do that thing out of bounds just to trash talk.
He was talking shit all night too. Whew. All night, bro.
Yeah, he was. He was making plays though. That whole defense was lighting them up. It was sick. But anyways, think we're good.
Think that's it, man. Thank y'all once again for watching/listening. This was Sports Therapy episode 16. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.